Alright, hello everyone, this is 707 Bro Sam with another video. This time we're gonna draw Flareon. So as you guys can see, this is the how he's gonna end up looking like. So if you guys want to draw him, and just watch the rest of the video. And here I have I'm gonna put up the reference that I'm using, just so it could help you guys, because it just makes it easier for you guys. So right here I'm just starting with the circle, and then I'm splitting it not in half, probably like 1/3 of the circle, and that's just telling us where the middle is. And then I start doing the shape of the face, and then I, like, for example, right there is kind of straight, so yeah, and then it kind of like dents in, I mean not dents in but goes in, and then the other side, and then just try to make that point where it curves around the same um, I'm gonna say height as the other side, because we're trying to make it look even. And right here I do that line, maybe so you guys could get a better understanding of what I'm saying. And right here I do another line that's just for the shape of the eyes, and right here I'm doing it, and then I started doing the top of the little furry thing that he has on top of the head. It's basically just a circle, and then it makes kind of like the shape of the fire, the fire and the energy symbol. Yeah. And one of the things I want to say before we start doing more stuff, you might, since you guys have the reference on screen, you guys might notice a lot of mistakes that I do, or a lot of differences, if that's a word, as long as you guys understand what I'm saying. But there's gonna be a lot of things that don't match up on my drawing compared to the reference, and one of those reasons is because we're not trying to make it the same, we're just kind of using it as a reference, but at the same time we are trying to do it, but it's not gonna end up looking the same perfect. And then right here I just started doing a straight line. This is basically the middle of the ear, like the center of the ear, and I do this line just so to get the length of the ear, and I do the same thing on the other side. So yeah, like I was saying, and another thing is because I'm not looking at the picture I'm straight, my head's probably like a foot away from the drawing, and the reason for that is for recording purposes, so my head is not covering the camera, so basically, so my head is not in the way. And right here I just do the kind of like the leaf shape, and then I do the same thing on the other side, but on the one on the left, is it looks kind of smaller than the one on the right, but I do go back and I change that after I finish recording. So yeah, so I'm not looking at the picture like face head on. I'm looking at it kind of like at an angle. So there's some things that some noticeable things that you guys might notice that I don't as I'm drawing them. Maybe the shape of the size of the eyes, when I'm doing it, and they may look the same, but watching it head on, you guys might notice that it's not. So right here I'm just doing this straight line right here, and as you guys see, it doesn't it's not the same as doesn't go down next to the same. I can't say that. This is the third time I've recorded this voiceover, and I still can't get that part right. But it's just a straight line. It's not on the side of the head. And then right here I just started doing the body. So I know that that's where that line is, where the end of the body is, and then because that's the leg. And then I do this shape, and I base the length of the body from the ear, so it doesn't go that much further than the ear, than the right ear. So yeah, so that's one of the things I notice, and when I'm doing the body. And right here I'm just doing a rough sketch of the legs, where they're supposed to go and where they're supposed to be before we start doing the fur on the chest area. It's better to do the legs, to base the fur off the body, than base the body off the fur. if that makes sense. And then I just start doing the legs, and just remember, try to make them the same thickness from the other legs. And then right here, just trying to get the shape. But like I said, this is just a rough sketch. It's not gonna end up being the exact those exact lines. Although when I try to do those reference lines, I do try to make them like as close as I can. That way when I start doing the actual lines, it's easier for me. And then I start doing the fur around the neck now that we got the body done. And then I just do a little bit on one side, and then I go to the other one, and then I meet up in the middle. And I really recommend that, because let's say I just do this and I follow all those shapes all the way down and then all the way to the other side, it's not gonna look it's not gonna match up, and it's not gonna look right. So what I like to do, and I recommend that you guys do too, is that start one side and then go to the other side and then just meet up in the middle. It just makes it easier and more accurate. And right here I'm just doing the shape of the fur. It's kind of like just like a circle kinda, and that's just so I know where to do all those details of fur and where it's gonna be. And yeah, so now that I got that reference line, I know where to when to curve with all those details. And yeah. And also, like, sorry that sometimes my voice over is kind of off from the drawing. It's just that usually when I do these drawings, I do them around 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and then I don't do the voiceover till the next day around evening. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons that I sometimes say I think I do this or I think I do that, because I don't do the voiceover right away. And then right here I just start adding all those details on the fur, trying to be as accurate as I can from the reference that we have. So I recommend that you guys stop the video, pause the video as you guys go. That way it makes it easier on you guys, and at the same time look at the reference as you are on the video. So right here I'm just adding the toes and the shape of the leg. I like where we placed it, so I left it there. Now I'm gonna start adding all the what do you call that? The hair, the details of the hair, the fur. What would you call that? I don't know. And then, like I said, try to make it accurate to the actual drawing. So as you guys can see, the fur goes under that leg. And then yeah, so now I'm doing the actual lines that I want to do, because I like where we placed it. Maybe you guys don't like how it turned out, so you could always just go back and erase them. So right here I'm just doing the other leg, the toes. I like where we put that line at the beginning, the reference line, so I'm gonna follow it. So like I said, just try to be as accurate as you can at the beginning. That way it just makes it easier on you guys when you're doing the actual drawing. So I do end up changing this because I don't know, like I didn't like how it turned out, but it's one of the reasons we do the rough sketch at the beginning, those shapes, just so it can make it easier on us when we're doing the actual drawing. Because if we don't like how it turned out, we could always just erase the whole thing, and those reference lines we did at the beginning could help us know where to place the drawing. So it's just easier to get it the way you guys want with those reference lines we did at the beginning. So like right here, I don't like the shape of it, so I do go back and I change it. I just don't like how that looks, and then I'm just erasing the details we did at the beginning. I don't like how that curves, so I just erase the whole leg. And one of the reasons that I'm using a pencil this time, because usually when I do my drawings, I start off with the pencil for the rough sketch, and then I use a mechanical pencil for the details in the final drawing. But I started noticing, since I'm using color pencils, that the mechanical pencil leaves like a dent on the paper, and the color pencil colors on the surface of the paper. So if there's a dent in the paper, the color won't go into the dent. So there's gonna be a lot of white spots and lines and everything. So that's why I'm using pencil, and pencil just erases clean. So I just make sure that it's sharpened. So now that I have the body there, I'm gonna start working on the shape of the tail, and it's a rough sketch. And I'm just like right here, like I said right here also, like I said before, I start one side and I base it, like right here I based it off the distance on the ear, and then I went back at the bottom, and I started where it starts at the bottom, and then I just meet up in the middle, and just to get that shape. And then right here I'm doing these lines on the face just so I can know where to place the eyes. I'm basing these lines off the nose and the reference, so I know where to place the eyes. And right here I'm doing the other line. So right here I'm looking at the gaps from the side of the face to where the eye's supposed to be, so that's why I'm doing those lines. So I know that when I start doing the eyes, that the eye's supposed to be in those squares. But because honestly, you guys don't have to do that, but I'm really bad at doing eyes. I just have a hard time doing the exact same eye again, like the shape, the size, everything. I have a hard time. And right here, like I said before, there's gonna be some mistakes that are not right away noticeable by me. And one of those things is the eye right here. That one is way bigger than the other one, but I do go back after I finish recording and make them a little bit more accurate. And right here, like honestly, when I was drawing this, I didn't really see the difference of the eyes. I thought they were alright. Like I said, I'm looking at it at an angle, so it wasn't that bad when I was drawing it. But then once I picked up the paper and saw it like normal, I noticed that one was way bigger than the other one. So yeah, so I always go back after I finish recording. I always go back before I start inking the picture and I start coloring it. I always go back, and if I see something's off, then I do change it. And I do that on all my drawings. And the reason why is, like I said before, I'm not looking at it straight on or head on. I'm looking at it at an angle, so there's gonna be some mistakes. And I'm doing the nose, and then yeah, so the picture doesn't have a mouth, so I didn't add it. And then right here I'm start adding the details on the ear. And right here, like I said, the ears, one looks bigger than the one, but after I finish recording, I do go back and I make the other ear bigger than the other one. So I make the small one even bigger. So yeah, but sometimes I don't notice these things, because when you focus on a drawing for, how long did it take me? It took me like 20 minutes to draw this. When you focus on the drawing, you sometimes you can't notice things like that, the size of things, because you're so focused on the drawing. And right here, like, I'm not really focused on the drawing at the same time, because I'm not nervous, but I know that a lot of people are gonna be watching it, so I'm trying to make it better and good. So it's not gonna really end up being a drawing that, like, if you compare, like, let's say when I make a drawing and I do the video, it wouldn't turn out the same if I would just do the drawing and then show the picture, because like I said, I'd have the drawing on me and I'd be able to notice any differences right away, than if I was doing a video and drawing it. So right here, in those details, using that leaf shape that we did at the beginning, and then I'm doing the inside. And one of the things right here that you guys need to pay attention to is the gap between that line that I just did and the outside of the ear. Just try to make it even. Just look at the picture, and if there's a spot area where there's a bigger gap than the other side, then make sure you guys do it, because or else it's just gonna look weird. And right here I'm just adding all those erasing all those reference lines we did at the beginning, so I'm just cleaning it up. And I guess we're basically done. Now I got the rest of the shape, and now I'm gonna show you guys the ink drawing in a little bit. So yeah, so now all we need is the tail, all those details on the tail and the fur. But before we do that, I'm just cleaning up the drawing a little bit, just so it can look better. And like I said before, when I do the something like this, I start on one side and then go to the other side, and then just meet up in the middle. It just makes it more even. And I think I get closely to the same number of those little hairs or spikes as a reference, at least because I tried to, just so it could look similar, although it's never gonna be similar unless you actually try. So like I said, right here I go to the other side and I start doing the other side and then meet up in the middle. And the reason for that is just so it could be more accurate, because if you just do one side and then just follow to the end, sometimes it's not gonna look right or meet up right. And this way I'm not focused on the same area, I'm just focused at the bottom, and then when I do the top, I focus on the top, and then they do most of the time end up meeting right. So now that I got the shape, we're basically done. And then yeah, so I like how he turned out. He's not that hard. Probably if I give it a grade from 0 to 10, I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7. He's not that hard. So here's the picture, where I inked it. So as you guys can see, I did go back and I did change the size of the eyes, and I just colored them in with Sharpie. I used a fine tip Sharpie. You guys could use a pen, you guys could use whatever. It just depends on how you're gonna color them. You don't need to use colored pencils, you can use whatever you have on hand. You guys don't even have to outline it in Sharpie like this. But for this, I did do it with colored pencils. And I'm not really good at coloring. I'm not ever since, because I like drawing since I was a kid, and I honestly never really got into coloring. I usually just use pencil and just shade it with pencil. But I didn't color till I started doing these videos, just to make them pop out a little bit more and look a little bit more better. So I just inked it, and yeah, so there's not much to it. And then I just let it dry for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I went back and I with an eraser I erased all those pencil markings. And then here, this is the final drawing. Here I colored it, and I think it came out alright. Like I said, I'm not that good at coloring, and I'm using colored pencils, so it's not gonna stand out that much, but I think it came out alright. I honestly do really like how the fur came out. It just makes it, I don't know, it just makes it look so soft. I just like, I thought I was really accurate on the color. And basically what I did was I used the regular yellow, and I just colored the whole fur, like everything. The fur, just used that yellow, and then just I didn't press too hard. I went soft, and then just did the whole tail, the whole chest area and the head. And then I used like a gold and just shaded in the darker areas, and just used the yellow, the regular yellow, for the highlights. And then after I did that, I went over it with the brown on the darker areas. And then I also added kind of like a red, just a hint of red, like really dark red, brown red, just to give it a little bit more contrast, and I think it came out pretty good. So those highlights that you guys see on the fur is regular yellow. I just pressed lightly on the paper, and then the rest is gold and brown. So then for the body, I don't really like how the red came out on that. Maybe I chose the wrong red, but I think it still came out alright. What I did was I used kind of like a light pink, reddish color for the skin, and I went over the whole skin, like the whole face, the ears, the legs. I went over with that color, added that layer, and then I went over the darker areas with the red. I'm not sure because the color pencils aren't marked. They don't say the actual colors, so it's really hard to know what color you're using, because sometimes the color that it actually is looks way more different than how the pencil looks. So yeah, so I just did the dark areas with the regular red, and I guess I just pressed a little bit more for the darker areas. So overall, I think he came out alright. He didn't, like I said, I'm not that good at coloring. Hopefully you guys are better than me, but I just wanted to show what I did and how it turned out. And then so I did that, and then I went back and I colored. I went over the Sharpie lines again with the Sharpie, because the color pencil goes over the some of the areas. The color pencil goes over the outline, and it just it's really noticeable on the Sharpie. So I had to go over just to make it dark and stand out a little bit more. And then what I did after that is I made the outline a little bit thicker so it could stand out a little bit more, and it just honestly makes a big difference on drawing. So I do that on all my drawings now, and I think it helps a lot. So it's just basically just the outline, like not the inside, it's just the outline that's thicker, and it just makes it stand out a little bit more. So overall, I think he came out good. As you guys can see, I changed the size of the eyes, and they're basic eyes. Maybe I could have done more with them, but I didn't want to overwork the picture. So yeah, so I just want to say thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope I helped you guys draw Flareon. I've done more drawings, more evolutions. If you guys want to go check them out on my channel. So far I've done Umbreon, Jolteon, I've done Eevee and Vaporeon. I'm gonna start doing the other ones in the next few days. So make sure that you stay tuned for those. So subscribe if you guys haven't. But yeah, so like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. 707 Bro Sound out.